Everybody good? Everybody see okay?
Yeah,
Beautiful. You're not muted for some reason though.
I'll do it.
Okay. All right, perfect. So today we're going to dive into lifetime client value. So, now you've been taught how to convert a prospect into a client and do sales. Now we're going to teach you the value of keeping that client, keeping them happy, keeping them around, keeping them referring. So lifetime client value, first of all, a couple things to discuss regarding the whole sales process. One of the very important things you need to remember and consider when you're implementing this process is to stick to the process. It's there not only because it works, the steps are there for a reason, number one, because they work, but also because it's going to support growth within your business. Right now you are doing the sales and you should be doing the sales. That's the number one most important thing you guys are doing right now besides generating leads is selling. And you need to get good at it, really good at it, so all sales come through you. However, as you grow and as you gain more revenue and gain more clients and gain more staff, you're going to want to leverage your good people and have them selling as well. And having a process that works is the best way to duplicate yourself in the selling process and have other people sell. So again, very important that you stick to the process, stick to the steps, make sure that you are understanding each step along the way and not completely changing it so it's difficult to be taught to other people. All right, so growth is huge. As you grow, you're going to want to leverage your people. Be sure that when you're ready for staff, you're hiring people with good personality and good sales potential, because not only are they going to be potentially selling consults face-to-face for folks, but they are selling your product and your service daily to the people that they're training and working with. So the number one component to have is that personality, and keep in mind that they should have a good sales potential as well. The sales process can be taught easily, the personality, not so much. So make sure that when you're bringing people on board, you're bringing them with the core values and the personality that you want incorporated into your organization. And then again, stick to the process. It's measurable, it's teachable, it works. Stick to it. Just follow the damn instructions. All right, let's talk about lifetime client value. Now, lifetime client value is the single most important metric for you to understand, in understanding your customers. It's going to give you the insight into knowing how much you're spending or can spend to acquire a customer. It's going to tell you how much you're spending on service and retaining a customer, and we'll also understand how much value that client is truly worth to you. Lifetime client value is the number that is the number one most important metric for you to remember in your business, because it's the great indication of growth. Keep in mind, you've worked hard to get this client. You've done a lot of upfront marketing. You've done a lot of work in sales. You've spent time nurturing and growing the prospect. You sold them. You worked really hard to get them. Let's keep them. You definitely want to keep them. And as we're going to show you later on in these slides, keeping that client is worth a lot more and is a lot easier than getting a new client all the time. All right, how do we calculate lifetime client value? It's very simple. It can be very simple. There's ways to make it really confusing, but we're going to keep it simple. So lifetime client value starts with the average value of the sale. And for purposes of this example, we're going to use the monthly value of the sale. And I kept the number easy and low, $150 a month. Right? So that is the average value of the monthly sale to your clients. And you multiply that by the number of repeat transactions. So I just did this based on 12 months. It could be 3 months, it could be 6 months, whatever that initial contract or initial package or initial period that you sign the client up, that's your number of repeat transactions. So the average sale was $150. We did this based on a 12-month period. We got a total of $1,800. And then you multiply that by the average retention time. So how long do the clients typically stay with you? In this instance, I used 3 years. On average, folks stay 3 years. So the $1,800 times 3 gives us a total lifetime client value just on them of $5,400, right? That $150 has now blossomed into $5,400. Now remember, there's work to be done to keep them that long, but that's a pretty good increase in revenue from $150 to $5,400. Now I put a little asterisk here because you do have to, there are some technicalities that you could consider were not for the purposes of this conversation because all of your acquisition costs are really low, but there is a cost to acquiring that client. It could be a Facebook ad, it could be an ad in the paper. You know, there are costs required to acquiring folks that you would subtract out of that $5,400, but in most cases right now, those costs are so minimal, we're just gonna not worry about them. So right now, this person without anything else is worth $5,400 to you. Moving forward, there are additional revenue items that we can add to that value, right? So for example, upsells. Right now we're sitting at $5,400, but potentially you could be selling products to this client, right? And I just went $50 a month. Easy. You know, maybe there's some nutrition supplementation, maybe there's a mindset coaching piece you're adding, maybe there's a training component you're adding, whatever. There's some additional products that you're adding on to this client. We kept it easy, $50 times the 36 months, another $1,800 that gets added to the lifetime value of this one particular client. There's retail. You know, maybe you sell t-shirts or foam rollers or heart rate monitors or HRV units. You know, maybe there's some other kind of retail product that you sell. Again, I kept it simple, $25, 6 times over the period of three years, $150. Maybe there are some cross-sells. You have partner affiliations with chiropractors or with nutritionists or with a salon down the street or, you know, any number of partner affiliates. And every time that your client purchases something from that affiliate, you get 50% of the cost, which is a great deal and a great affiliate to have. But again, I kept it conservative. I said over the length of the 3 years, it's $1,000 in additional revenue from cross-sells. So if we look at our total upsell and cross-sell and additional revenue items, now we're at $2,950, an additional $2,950 to the lifetime client value of this one particular client. Another revenue item for lifetime client value is a huge number, and that is referrals, right? Generating referrals is the easiest way to market and grow your business. And I kept this so conservative at 1 referral per year. If they get you 1 referral per year, that's 3 referrals over the length of the time retention that they're with you. And that adds up to an additional $25,000 that this one client is worth to you in terms of lifetime client value. Referrals are huge, and referrals are absolutely something you should continually be working for in your business. So what is this total value that this client is now worth to you? Well, the initial $5,400 of their initial package, plus the $2,950 in upsells and cross-sells, plus the $25,000 of referral generation gives you $33,000. That's based off of $150 per month, right? $33,000. Can you imagine if that was an $800 or $900 or $1,000 client? Do the math. That just completely multiplies that number by a huge percentage. Right? So lifetime client value is a number that you always want to keep in the back of your mind or forefront of your mind, because every person that you bring in the door is worth so much more than the $150 a month or the $500 a month or $1,000 a month. And that is so important to remember as you grow your business. So what can you do to increase lifetime client value? Well, obviously you want to keep your clients happy. You want to keep them happy. You want to keep them coming back for more. You want to keep them with you and not somewhere else. So some of the ways you can do that, number one, is create what I like to call the LCV, the Lifetime Client Value Stick campaign, kind of like a wow campaign. This is a way that the minute the client comes on board, you're continually and consistently wowing them by developing loyalty, you're creating brand awareness, educating, establishing a really positive customer experience. And how can you do that? So some of the things that we've done in the past is do a 6-week wow campaign. So every week there was a letter in the mail, not an email, but an actual letter in the mail that provided some value and some education to keep them engaged in their program. An article about water and the importance of water, and maybe a water bottle included with it, right? The importance of consistent eating, and a protein bar to get them introduced to our nutrition program, right? And the importance of consistently eating and having a good nutrition program. A t-shirt, a towel, you're going to sweat a lot. Here's a towel to help you sweat. At some point we even offered a gym bag, where you can pack your gym bag the night before so you're ready to hit the gym first thing in the morning. So some kind of wow campaign that develops the loyalty. Of course, you're creating some brand awareness because they're carrying a water bottle around, they're wearing a t-shirt, they're out in public, and they're promoting your facility or your program. And you're educating, always educating. And then establishing a really good customer experience. Another way is services and products, always upselling, always cross-selling. Make relationships with businesses in your area or businesses that complement your services. I think I might have told you the story once about one of my clients who does a lot of functional movement screening. And she built a relationship with a chiropractor who she invited into her studio. She did an FMS with him. He was so impressed with it. He's like, you know what? Every single one of my clients needs to have this done before they start doing their adjustments with me, because I want to know what their screen looks like. And so they built a joint venture where every single one of his clients gets a certificate. They pay $150. They get a screening from her. They split the $150. He gets half, she gets half. He gets a happy client, she gets a potential client. So promoting services and products from a complementary standpoint is a great way to show value to the client, to show loyalty to a client, and to increase the customer experience by introducing them to other opportunities that are going to make them feel better. And then, of course, referrals. Referrals are huge. And the number one mistake people make in terms of generating referrals is, believe it or not, they just don't ask. They don't ask. They just don't think to ask about referrals or generating referrals. And the time to ask for referrals is sort of, well, there's never a wrong time to ask for referrals, but the best time is when you're doing some kind of assessment. All right. When somebody has been assessed, or when you hear somebody say, wow, that felt great today. That was the best workout I've ever had. Or, my life has completely changed and I can't believe how you, through all this mindset training, has changed my life. Oh, that's awesome. I'm so happy to hear that. But let me ask you a question. Can you think of any other folks that would benefit like you? And I'm happy to just shoot them an email and have them come in and have a conversation with me. Or, send them an email, copy me, introduce us, and I will take it from there, right? I know a lot of folks don't want to do the hard referral sell, so you can easily ease into it. And the best way to do that is, if you know of anybody, shoot them an email, copy me, and then I'll take it from there and follow up with them. But the number one thing you have to do for referrals is ask. There's no harm in asking. There's also, ways to generate campaigns for referrals. Some folks create sort of like VIP programs where the more referrals they generate, the more points they earn, the more perks they get. Every time they reach a certain level, they get specific perks and they move up on a VIP board. Cash back is always great. If you generate a referral, I'll get $50 off your next month or your next program, or bonus, right? For every referral you generate, I have a special gift that I will give to you. Some kind of incentive to generate the referrals. But more importantly, if folks are happy, if they're completely satisfied, if they're feeling like you are the best thing in town, they're going to bring their friends and they're going to want to generate their referrals to support your growth and to support the fact that your business is going to stay around, because then that means they get to continue working with you. So referrals are huge, and never be afraid to ask for the referral. Ways to increase the lifetime client value. So we just already talked about some of this, but here's some more. Of course, all of you are great at the social media. Make sure you're using email and social media to build your client community. If you don't have a private Facebook group, create a private Facebook group just for your clients and engage in that community. Engage in building community and having them get to know each other and become more actively social with each other. Some of the best businesses I've seen are where the clients have developed lifelong friendships, where being together is what fuels them daily. And, when it comes to what you all are building in terms of training and mindsets, these are like-minded people and they will want to hang together. It might be difficult because you'll have them all over the country potentially, but if you do some sort of community building, social networking, maybe it's a fun get to know you webinar where they just all talk and you listen and facilitate, or if you are all local, you go out and do a happy hour or something. Build that community so that they want to hang out together. That's the best way for folks to stick with you longer and increase that lifetime client value and bring their friends into the mix. We talked about the second bullet, to cross-market and provide lead generation for businesses with similar customer bases. The beauty of what you all do is that it goes across every market. It doesn't matter what business you connect with. Everybody needs a mindset shift, or everybody needs health and fitness education and support. So think about all of the businesses that are there and start building connections with those businesses and offering their services to your clients. That's value to your clients, it's value to the business, it's value to you. Everybody wins in that situation. It's a complete win-win situation. Multiple streams of revenue. Always offer multiple streams of revenue. So in many cases, you guys are doing fitness and you're doing the mindset component and you're incorporating a nutrition component, which is great. If you can package that all together, that's fabulous. But now, what else can you offer within your business to increase that revenue? Again, products, supplementation, retail products. There's a whole realm of things that you can sell to increase multiple streams of revenue. One of the, I'm not going to say it, biggest mistakes I made in my business, but one of the things that I did that I wish I hadn't when I grew my business was to open up a second location. Because I thought that, I've got this one location, it's great, I want to increase my revenue, I need to open another spot. That wasn't true. That was not the best way for me to generate more revenue. It actually only generated a lot more work. It's not double the work, it's like triple the work. What I should have done, and I went back and did, was increase the revenue within my four walls. Revenue is exponentially possible for you within your four walls as long as you leverage all the avenues of increasing that revenue. Again, different products, different cross-selling different things, different businesses, so many ways to maximize the revenue within your current business without actually opening up another business. Keep that in mind. The next bullet, make customer service easy. Make it easy for people to access you, get questions answered, have an enjoyable experience. You know, the worst thing is when there's a problem and you can't get an answer to your problem, or things just aren't working and you can't get somebody to talk to you. Always make it easy for people to reach you or get an answer to their problem, or just feel loved. You know, make customer service easy. Educate goes along with building client community, right? Workshops and seminars are awesome. It brings people together. You can do it via webinar. You could do it live. Do it with a charity perspective, right? Maybe you're going to do a workshop and call it Best Year Ever and do a quick 2-hour mindset workshop to drive people into your mindset program. And, you know, there's going to be a $10 donation to a charity that you feel near and dear to, and it's free to clients, and they bring their friends. And maybe there's a bonus, a gift for every friend that comes, or every person that brings a friend. You know, think of ways to incentivize folks to come, to entice people to come, but to educate and show more love for your current clients, right? Again, keep them engaged in your business, keep them engaged in what you have to offer, keep them engaged in growth, and they will stay engaged with you. And then the last one we talked about already, create a referral program. It's huge. It's huge. Your best clients are going to come from your best clients, right? Because they're like-minded. They're the same people. They hang out with people like themselves. And those are the folks that you want to have in your business. So make sure you have a strong referral program and you're asking folks for referrals consistently. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. So I'm going to stop this and ask for questions. I have to get to the stopping part. All right, Gary, do you want to add anything?
I'd just like to add, I think it was great, guys. It's super important to know the lifetime value of each client. What I urge you to do is actually take the time to do the exercise of the lifetime value. Because we might have it in our head, but once it's down on paper and you could see, even without upsells, what a client is worth, it's very helpful. And it's also very helpful when you grow and you have to hire people and you have to think about margins of what to pay individuals and things like that. It's just a great number to understand how to grow your business. So a lot of times, and I did this at the very beginning too, is I thought I knew what the lifetime value was in my head. I never wrote it down on paper, but until you write it down on paper and actually see the number, it's so much more meaningful and it's so much more useful. It's a very useful number to help grow your business, guys.
Maybe we can just have everybody go through the exercise right now.
Yeah, why don't we do that?
All right, so Stacy, Vince, Helgi, what is your average monthly ticket sale? So on average, what do people pay you per month? Write that number down. And then what is the length, the average length of that contract? Is it 3 months? Is it 6 months? Is it 12 months? So if it's $1,000 for 3 months, then it's $3,000. And then multiply that by the average number of times folks renew. So, keep it at 3. If they stay with you for three years, you do the math and divide that by 3 months to get the average renewal period. Let us know if you have any questions on what the numbers are, because we're going to ask you what your LCV is. Okay, Vince, you good? What'd you get?
Well, getting the average times they renew, because right now I've got, I mean, I don't have like the yearly of year to year, except for like percentage wise of what I think, you know, like, I mean, of what I've had so far, because it's such a young business on that side. But I mean, if they did it twice, you know, it's automatically 12,000. Because I got right now my average per month is 1,000 times 6 months is the average length times, you know, twice, 2 to 3 times is what we're looking at.
So that's a huge number. 12,000 over 2 years, over 1 year, right?
12, well, yeah.
6 months.
Yeah.
6 months, yeah. They do the in season, and then off season, it's, you know, a little bit structured differently and all that stuff. But yeah.
Yeah, and then we add referrals on top of that, because I think you're going to see a lot of referrals come through on your business. That just makes the number exponentially larger.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's just one person.
Right, exactly.
One person, exactly. All right, any questions?
That's pretty sick.
Yeah, it's pretty
Stacey, what's your number?
On average, it's just as in my fitness business though. It's just 3,600. If I take all averages of what I'm just without going back and looking at actual numbers.
What's your average ticket sale?
I would say about 120.
And that's over how long?
12 months.
It's what, I'm sorry?
Over 12 months. Like, sorry, it's a month, 120 a month, and they sign up for 12 months.
And so, and then that goes out, retention is typically 2 years?
Yeah, I did 2.5. I split it.
So
We're averaging, right?
So it's like $4,000, right? If I'm not mistaken.
That's 4,300.
What?
Yeah. So you take the 120, multiply it by 12. So annually it's 1,440. If they're sticking with you on average 3 years, that's $4,300.
Okay, I did 2.5.
Yeah.
Okay, in the middle.
Still, it's significant, right? Yeah. It's significant when you add up the total length. It's worth it. It's a lot easier to keep that client happy and around, you know, generating referrals and other product sales versus having to go out continually to find new people.
Agree.
Helgi, what about you?
Mine comes out to 3,600. I would say depending on the exchange ratio, it's about $89 a month.
For a 12-month period?
Yeah.
And then you're looking at it.
That's in it's in my fitness business that I have.
And you're looking at an average of 3 years?
Yeah.
Good.
And so guys, look at everything that just from the three of you, right? You could base a business model on volume of client, and you know exactly how much that client's worth, meaning like how many people are coming through the door paying $150 a month, or then you have, you know, multiple streams of revenue, a premium product. And that premium product is X amount of dollars and comes in X amount of time. And you can see the difference and how you can make money in both areas and how multiple streams of revenue are so important for a business. Right?
Yeah.
Does anyone have any other questions? No.
How about?
I think that was a great call. What were you going to say? Sorry.
I was just going to say questions relating to anything we've talked about over the last few weeks. You guys are lucky. You get Gary and I private calls week after week.
I feel so lucky.
You should. You totally should. So seriously, anything you guys want to ask or go over?
Yeah, I've got some. So I wanted to ask you last week. What are your thoughts, guys? So one of the ideas I had was coming off of that 2-day seminar. It made me think about creating a program that's like $199 or $299, but basically just doing what I did in that seminar and then selling that out. What are your thoughts on that?
Like having the seminar filmed and you just creating a product from that film and then selling that and like it.
I mean, yeah, I guess it's either way, right? It's either do I do it as, film it and do it that way, or create it as like just going off of the information, the content, putting it off the same way, not live, but more just, me talking about it, put it out there and all that stuff, and then selling for the value of what the content is based off of teaching it through the experience and all that. And maybe it's keeping it specific towards, I can do one towards a hockey market, one towards, athletic market, stuff like that. But using the same framework from what the seminar was and then flipping it over and then turning it into some type of like, $199 program of, hey, same thing I use in seminars, something like that.
Why?
Because when I crunch the numbers of if you sell 100 of them at, $200, something like that, just starting to look at the numbers of like, all right, so that's 20,000. That's not bad. It's pretty good. So I was just wondering.
So you're looking at it as a feeder to your other programs?
Yeah, exactly. It's basically gives you, it's a nice intro, but it's also something that, you do it at $299 or $199 or whatever it is. And, if you get 100 people buying into it and then something simple and other stuff, I mean, that's not a bad revenue stream.
And who are you selling it to?
Probably specifically in the beginning to do the first one, hockey community wise, is to basically life skill through sport and making it so that's like, here's the introduction to guys, here's how it applies life skills through sports. So I might put it out as, I could probably put it out as both at the same time, as for regular athletes and the hockey community, and see which one goes and all that, because it's not really going to be much of a difference, I don't think, content-wise.
Is it going to be driven from a website? Or do you have to actually get in front of people to sell it? Can you drive?
No, we would drive it. We would drive it from the website.
And the cost is $199?
$199 or $299. That's what I was trying to think. Is like, what makes the most sense and all that. But yeah, that was the ballpark.
Certainly wouldn't hurt to try and test something like that. I think your biggest issue is going to be pricing, right? Because you want to be careful how you price something that you're selling directly from a website. Folks don't want to put out a lot of cash for something that they may not be completely convinced is going to provide them value. So your price point needs to be right. What that is, we don't know, right? We have to test it out to see. When you say a 2-day seminar, be careful how you package it, Vince, because you want to be able, are we talking modules? So, it's hour-long modules that they do over a course of, 5 different modules, or is it a one-time watch this 2-hour video and you get all the content that you need?
No, break it down.
What?
Yeah, break it down. So it's almost like setting it up similar. So what it'd be similar to what the structure of the 2-day was, but basically just going over thought management, play management, and time management.
Okay.
So just breaking.
You're going to end up dripping to them different webinars based on a sequence.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Keeping it simple. Three topics from thought, 3 topics from play, and 3 topics from time.
Yeah, all intro type, I'll call it an intro type products are great because what they'll do is prime people to want more. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. We just have to make sure that you're getting it in front of the right audience and you're getting it for the right price points.
Yeah.
Jerry. Yeah.
I agree. And the only thing that you get, the only way you know that is by testing it, right?
Oh yeah.
I think that a huge component of that sales part of getting that down is actually getting testimonials from your 2-day seminar that you put on.
Yeah.
And putting that on, since you're not in front of people, right? Put it on the site of what they thought of that, so that they're more inclined to purchase the 2-day seminar that you already currently have in slides and modules that you've already presented to people that are already seen it.
Right.
Right.
Well, that's the part where I'm like the in between, because where my head's at is thinking about, all right, I can do this product, and yeah, technically, if you look at it, okay, yeah, I get 100 people, whatever. Let's easy numbers at 200, so I make 20. But then I'm looking at it as, but if I go out and sell the 2-day seminar package of like going out there at, say, whatever it is, if it's $600-700 a day, 2 days, whatever, taking care like that. But what I can pull in revenue wise for what it would take to go get 100, that's what I'm starting to think is like putting your energy into. Is it better off to stick to the 2-day seminar? Because I've got those testimonials, like you just said. I've got those testimonials set up. I've got it from a video standpoint, from them writing and all that. So it's either, is it a 2-day seminar going like this, or is it selling that product? And then, or that drives the seminars. Like, that's where I'm kind of like the in between. I don't want to put out information too that's like, hey, is it better off to go get the 2-day seminar?
One of the things that I was always taught from my husband is that multiple poles of marketing is always the best way to go. You don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. You want to have multiple poles that you're fishing with, right? You're reeling them in, you're throwing out the pole, and you're fishing. So, having a product that's transferable into multiple fishing poles is fantastic. So I don't know that you should sit there and just say, do I need to do this or do I need to do this? Do it all, because it's leverageable. Everything that you're doing right now is leverageable, and it's all interconnected. So, you have those folks that are the single one-off people that will buy your series. I'm not going to call it a 2-day seminar. We'll call it a series from the website. That's beautiful, which is the same product that you can go in front of a team or a group of people and sell as a 2-day seminar. Do them both, right? Have the multiple streams or the multiple poles so that you can fish from a lot of ponds and bring the leads in. And you're using all of this as front-end marketing to drive folks to your programs, your transformation programs, right? So I don't think there's any discussion about which to do. It's more of a discussion, are they leverageable, and are we not increasing the amount of work that you need to do to create those polls? No, we're not. So do them both. Do them all.
Cool.
And don't stop there. Keep doing all of your other marketing streams, like your relational Facebook marketing, right? Like whatever else that you're doing, your newsletters, your autoresponders to your prospects, keep layering on the multiple poles of marketing so that you're driving leads from everywhere.
Yeah, totally. Oh yeah, that's what, trying to just keep moving and doing it and figuring out what style fits, what style doesn't, slowly and all that stuff. That's one of the things that I've noticed, that with our private Facebook page, I'm putting everything towards Facebook, but I kind of started to fall off a little bit of just sharing it right inside there in that page. So I started to think about, do I just first put it in our private page and then share it onto the public page? And so just trying to find my style that works for me on that part.
And remember, there's no right or wrong answer until it's tested and we see what works and doesn't work. And then we'll know what's right or wrong. But I'm going to throw a little caveat on there. Remember, what works tomorrow may not work 6 months from now, right? And what doesn't work tomorrow might work 6 months from now. So it's just continually testing and reevaluating. But the beauty of what you've just said is the leverage that you can get from a single product.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. Either way, putting it out there on sale.
Yeah. So even, right, you have the webinar series, you have the roadshow, you could even take snippets of that and post them in Facebook. So you're taking, or even create an ebook, right? So you've taken one product and you've developed multiple products from that one thing that you can leverage to market in many different ways. Articles, ebooks, webinars, roadshows. It's beautiful.
Right, so.
Sweet.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's funny what you just said about the even the posts. Like I noticed some posts were strong for a while, and then now it's suddenly not as strong. So it's kind of funny how you just have to keep changing it up and trying different stuff and all that, but it works in that regard too.
And I think that's in every single industry, in every single stream of revenue.
Yeah.
Right? It's things dry up sometimes for a little bit, and they, and then before you know it, it's almost like when it rains, it pours, right? Yeah. And you have tons of views or whatever on that platform. It's always testing every single day. Like in all you guys on here are fitness people too, right? So you're testing your clients too, right? It's, if someone comes back from vacation and hasn't worked out, they can't do the same workout that they did right before they left for vacation, right? But like you test them. It's just like every single thing else.
Yeah.
It's no different.
Yeah, totally.
I would suggest that everybody goes back and that's listening to this recording, and all you guys go back to lesson 1 of Changemaker and go over all of the lessons up until today. It'll chunk them out, but it'll keep everything top of mind too. And maybe you'll hear something fresh now that you didn't hear then. That'd make a big difference.
It's like a movie or a book you hadn't read in years or seen in years.
It's true though. I've gone back into all of these lessons and I've picked out tidbits that I didn't the very first time. So we could all do it. All right. If no one has any other questions, I say we stop recording.
Okie dokie.